Do we still talk about whiskey and Scotch?
I honestly do not know the history of whiskey and Scotch. I put that in there and then I was meant to look it up and then I didn't. And you've already put Cayley's. You've pretty much found out the stuff about Cayley's there.
Yeah. I actually was wondering how you say that. So Cayley's.
Yeah, Cayley. It's Gaelic, yeah.
But like whiskey and Scotch, I mean, are they different drinks though?
So Scotch is a particular type of whiskey that can only be distilled and made in Scotland. So it's geographically protected.
Really, like a geographically protected recipe. Like you could make like it somewhere champagne. Else, but you can't call it that. Yeah. Yeah,
you can't label it or claim it's Scotch.
No, we watched Limmy's show for the next 8 hours. No, I'm trying my best not to go down that rabbit hole. Scotch is Scottish whiskey. Now you can, they left the EU. Hey, Shark Dog. Well, that doesn't mean, like, actually, is it like a trademark that is enforced globally?
Yes. Yes, I think it's United Nations that protects that.
Wow. Yeah. A whiskey cannot be called Scotch unless it is entirely produced and bottled in Scotland. That does not say anything about its quality, though, but...
Dare you. I'm sure that it's very nice. I've never had Scotch or whiskey, so...
Me neither. I wouldn't know how to tell if it's good or bad.
I find very strong alcoholic drinks difficult.
Same. Whiskey only has an E in it if the country it's from has an E in it. Right, that's the rule of thumb. What the fuck is bourbon? Good question, actually. Is bourbon also whiskey? Canada has whiskey, but America has whiskey.
In Scotland and Ireland, it's not got the E in it, but I think other places around the world it has an E for reasons.
Yeah, but in Canada it also has an E or not. Bard, tell us. Bourbon is made from grain mash that contains at least 51% corn, while Scotch whiskies are typically made from malted grains. Okay, I totally got that.
Yeah, the whiskey and Scotch basically comes from the malt tax issue.
What is malting? Like, is malting like the process of fermenting the grains?
Yeah,
or what?
It's the fermenting and all that side of stuff with the grains.
And so they impose the tax on people fermenting their own grains to make drinks out of, or to make that version of water that was safer to drink, right?
Yeah, basically. And then Highland whiskey started to be made illegally, and then eventually that was cracked down on.
Canadian whiskey. Wow, they actually do spell it without the E. What about slurping? Irish whiskey is triple distilled and has to sit for 2 days longer than Scottish whiskey. Really? Really, Shark Dog. Scotch whiskey gains trademark protection in the US? What? That's just this year? The trademark registration is another sign of the industry's determination to build back in the United States and ensure that consumers in a dynamic and competitive spirits market can be confident that the Scotch whiskey they purchase is the genuine article. Well, they didn't have the trademark before. Buckfast is what my ex-girlfriend used to call me. What is Buckfast?
Buckfast is a very cheap alcoholic drink.
I thought that was some weird way of saying breakfast. It's a tonic wine.
Yeah, monks originally made it. It was like a way of getting around, because they would make wine on the lands of the church, and then some of it would be snuck away, and they would have it, and it was Buckfast.
15% in volume, has a ton of caffeine in it as well. Actually, caffeine and alcohol would be a good mix for me, because alcohol makes me sleepy. Back in my days of actually partying.
Yeah, I drink maybe once a week, and like a couple of glasses of wine is enough to just... That's my limit, and then I'm done.
I was gonna say that I used to do this trashy thing of drinking vodka and energy to actually not fall asleep and actually which is the trashiest thing you can drink. But that was actually a good mix. Why the vodka? I don't know. That's just what they used to serve. They just had this specific mix that they served at a lot of places. Oh my god, what is this? Oh wow. Wow. Wait, let me put it in our sync room thingy.
What should we do first? What shall we do?
Lewis!
Oh, a telegram from the Queen.
You got a telegram from the Queen. Well, I mean, that's big news.
I don't know if you knew
that
this,
shirt.
but when you reach 100 years old in England, you get a telegram from the Queen, and it's the same thing for YouTube channels. If you have a 5-year-old YouTube channel in
Queen
England,
herself,
the
Simon.
Queen sends you a
I
telegram.
did not know this.
What? Just
Wow.
5
Well,
gold?
this is the
Year
kind of
old?
thing the Queen would have sent.
It's real.
True, most definitely. I mean, it looks like it's from the office
It's
of
a real-
the Queen of England. Do you want to read? Do you want
The
to
Queen
sure,
sent that.
Sure
read that out?
thing.
You were a little bit covered in
We believe
cream
you,
there.
Simon.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
it's real.
There's a bit of cream.
Oh
that's now
gosh,
on
she's
the
written a
card.
whole detailed
The
message.
Queen creamed
Well,
on
lovely.
it too? Wow.
Hello,
Oh god.
Messrs. Lane and Brindley. The Queen is much interested to hear that you are celebrating your 5th YouTube birthday and sends you warm congratulations and good wishes. Mr. H. Godfrey's Private Secretary. To the Queen.
Oh my god, I still have this open. Do you want to say something about Len Penny? Like, who is she?
Yeah, so Len Penny is a poet who was trying to learn new Scots word, and she was talking to, the way she tells it, she was speaking to American friends, and they didn't know these Scots words. So she started uploading videos to Twitter and TikTok, just explaining different Scots words, and eventually it blew up into a massive thing. So now she does a Scots word of the day. She's involved in the Scots Language Centre. I think last year she joined up as one of their education people. So she helps get resources for schools that want to teach Scots to young people. Just all around fantastic person. I love Len Penny.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I was like, she's involved with a lot. This goes into the other topic though, but the whole Scottish cringe thing and that. Wait, let me quote this. What did you say about the Scottish cringe and her? Thanks to the Scots language, we are raising a post-cringe generation. That's a quote by her.
It is, yeah. Scots Cringe, I think you've got a good copy paste of it in the notes here, but basically the Scottish Cringe is sort of something that's developed after the Union, because inevitably all of the important stuff moved down to London. So English started to become more and more prevalent. Middle class people wanted to move away from Scots and towards English. Laws started coming into effect that meant that English could only be spoken in schools, important institutions, rather than Gaelic and Scots. So Scots became sort of a working class thing.
I just first wanted to clarify the term cultural cringe, because the thing is, it's very funny to me because usually cringe is like, it's a term used as a meme, but it actually is a specific term in cultural studies. It's an internalized inferiority complex that causes people in a country to dismiss their own culture as inferior to the cultures of other countries.
We have that in Scotland. You know, we look at things like shortbread or haggis or speaking Scots or Gaelic, people wearing kilts out and about. You know, we tend to look at it and we do feel a little bit cringy about it. I know I have at times with this sort of stuff, and that's because, you know, like I said, English and English culture started to become dominant. Like right now, American culture through Hollywood is starting to become the normal thing. You know, people are starting to say American English words rather than English words, and that's basically led to sort of, like you said, an internalized cringiness around parts of our own culture. And some of that is because a lot of it is actually Highland culture that has since been adopted to be just Scottish culture, because it's good for tourism, it's good for selling to particularly American tourists who want to get in touch with their ancestors that moved over 300 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But because of people like Len Penny and some of the work that's being done by the Scottish government and in part by the UK government as well, it's young people are starting to not feel as cringy about their own culture.
I mean, it's like the cringe. You're making it sound like it comes also from the whole like the tourism industry kind of embracing some caricature version of things to kind of sell those.
Edinburgh, the capital city, you can't walk any street without there being a tartan shop or a kilt shop or
Really?
somewhere that's selling tour guides of Scottish culture. You know, we do it to ourselves as well. We create this sort of cringy side of our identity because it makes money.
Yeah. This one, I actually watched it like a couple weeks ago, and I was struggling to understand what she was talking about because she says, I'm not having children, I'm having weans. And I totally didn't understand this at first.
So the thing about this poem is it's the Scots word, and then it's like the English translation of that, I think, or it's the other way around. So when you hear a word, it will be translated.
So I should turn on the captions.
I don't think the captions are helpful for this one. I think they're auto-generated, so it's going to misread all of the Scots ones.
Yeah, but basically the idea of this poem is that she doesn't want to use the English words to say what she means, but she embraces the Scot words for the same
what
idea.
The poem is about.
Yeah. All right.
This is my favourite thing that I've ever written, and I don't think I'll ever top it because it's in Scots, it's about Scots, and it's for Scots. If you've ever been told that the way that you speak is just bad English, this is for you. This is my love letter to the language that is Scots and the country that is Scotland. Thank you. Hi, this poem is called I'm No Having Children. I'm no having children, I'm going to hae wains, and you can ask what I cry them, know what are their names. They'll be getting a piece, no a wee packed lunch. They'll be haeing a scran, no having a munch. And they'll fanny about, they won't waste time. And when they write their wee poems, I'll make sure they rhyme. I'm no haeing children, I'm going to hae wains, who'll be gowping and beeling when they've got aches and pains. And instead of don't worry, I'll say dinna fash. Instead of stand your ground, dinna take any snash. My wains will be crabbit, no in a bad mood, and they'll greet, no cry, when their day is nae good. I'm no haeing children, I'm going to hae wains, with a proud ancient language crammed in their wee brains, and whenever life tells them their English is bad, I'll tell them the hassles that their mammy had, and I'll say my ma's words to the day that I'm deed. You'll be alright, hen, you've a good Scots tongue in your head. Thank you. Alright lads, I hope you enjoyed my wee poem. It was dedicated to my mum when I wrote it, and it's dedicated to my mum now. She taught me Scots, but she also taught me what it means to be a strong woman, which for me is just the most important thing, and I'm never going to stop saying thank you. Nearly 250,000 people have seen this poem. The Scots language is alive and kicking. Never forget that.
That's really cool because the poem draws the parallels between how to say specific things in like English and Scottish, knowing that it was actually easier for me to kind of understand.
Yeah, I should have put that in the notes when I sent it to you like 2 weeks ago or whenever it was now.
It's fine. I mean, it's more memorable because it took me a while to like truly understand. And then there was the other one.
Yeah, the other one is slightly different, so it's not got real-time translation, but it's basically a poem about Scots culture is not what it was like 1,000 years ago or whatever. You know, Scottish culture is what it is today. You don't have to like specific things or do certain things to be Scottish.
Again, I guess it doesn't have no, it doesn't have captions. We'll attempt it. Maybe you can help with understanding afterwards a bit.
I've never had haggis, or ta'en a wee dram, and on pipes I never have skirled. I've never tossed cabers, I'm no part of a clan, and at Cayley's I seldom have birled. And as far as the tartan, I'll have to admit that I'm no a great fan of the plaid. And if all that tells you that I'm no a true Scot, then I'm sorry, your info is bad. If they didn't want me to see all men the same or to ken all the strength in myself, and I'm sorry, I'll gie yous a tip for next time. Keep Burns on a much higher shelf. He took so much beauty and called it his ain and let us ken the way that he saw. And then he weaved in politics, poetry, sangs, and a love for the lassies and all. 'Cause it's damn all today with the ghosts in the past and the stuff our great-grandfather said. A true modern Scot lives his life in the now and doesn't keep haunting the dead. It just doesn't matter the place that you're fae or the country where yous hang your hat. When it comes to the people Caledonia is birthed, Scot nothing to do with that. And every generation to the one that came behind kens himself to be a Scot in body, soul and mind, kens it doesn't matter how far fate our shores you bide. A Scot's a Scot, no matter what. What counts is what's inside.
I like that the title of the whole thing, or like the catchphrase of the whole thing, is Scott nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
She mentioned something about Caledonia at some point. I didn't catch what that was about.
So Caledonia is the ancient Roman name for Scotland.
I see. Right. Yeah, Block, you can't just keep saying Earn Brew every time you hear anything about Scotland. That's just perpetuating the cultural cringe.
We know that one.
Missed what's on
the higher shelf? Burns. So Robert Burns, the national poet of Scotland. He's basically, so when I said that, Scots was seen as uneducated after the Union and everything sort of moved to England, Robert Burns was the exception. He started writing poems and stories in both Scots and English, and has basically been revealed across the world now ever since then. Lang Syne, the song that everyone sings at New Year's, that's a Robert Burns poem.
Which one?
So it's probably one of the most well-known songs around the world.
I don't sing anything on New Year's.
Oh, do you not sing it in your part of the world?
My part of the my backyard of the world.
Okay, that surprises me. I didn't know that.
Maybe they do. I don't go and I skip straight to kissing everyone. Sure. Auld Lang Syne. Okay, I really don't know if I know this. To bid farewell to the old year and at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve. It's also often heard at funerals, graduations, and as a farewell or ending to other occasions. In Germany, the lyrics are "Nehmt Abschied, Bruder." Then that translates to "Bid your farewell, brother." What? Traditionally performed on New Year and often at the end of an event. Well, I never associated that with New Year's Eve. That's interesting. The New Year's song. No, is it? I've only ever heard this in relation to some sort of ceremonies in the UK or something. Like, weird.
Yeah, I'm trying to think whatever countries it's big in. I think China sing it, even though obviously they don't really celebrate the New Year because it's not the Lunar New Year.
Yeah. Non-English countries are listed in the section here, yes. Well, I understand that there is a German version, but I will have to actually ask my German friends if this is actually traditionally played at anything. Australia do it.
Here it's basically the big thing that we sing on Hogmanay, which is our New Year's.
Blog found the German version. Oh god. This looks very bitchy. I'm just gonna jump to where she sings. Oh wow, that reverb is blowing me away. Well, like I said, I have no idea. This might be a thing, but it's not like I've watched German television enough to know. That's the only way I would know. If this is actually traditionally played. I'll find out maybe for next time. All the reverb was put into this specific track. Alright, well, Angus, I guess I'm gonna head out. It was really fun talking to you again about this.
Yeah, I had fun as well. Thank you for having me on.
Well, you make it very easy because you have all the information available, so I can just sit and listen mostly. Yeah, but no, it's always fun. Of course, these days I'm gonna be doing streaming less, like I already said, but I'm still doing it, and it's still fun when I get the time to. So, and I'm also gonna probably wanna like talk about more topics, but I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to do that weekly. Maybe again, like every 2 weeks or so, something like that. We could have one of these.
I'd like that, yeah. You know, there's
yeah.
the whole playlist of videos there. You know, if any one title interests you, you can just, you know, give me a one-word thing of what you want, and then I can put together another list like this.
Yeah, and
Just
then we're
talk about.
probably gonna ignore most of it anyways when we actually talk.
Yeah.
Oh well. Alright, I'm gonna just say bye to Angus, and I'm going to just hang up rudely. So bye Angus. Bye.
Cheeks.
Wow, that's perfect timing, vlog.